Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I'm your host, Alecia Jacobson.
What's up, my badasses? I started doing tapping. I tap with Brad, which sounds really funny, but it's supposed to make you kind of think differently. It's kind of like when you do a visualization or a meditation where you're kind of just training your mind to think differently, but you do this tapping on your head and your face and underneath your arm and on your neck. And it's supposed to, I don't know what it does. It's on the computer, it's on YouTube, you can Google it. But I leave feeling so good and shifted a little bit. And the one I did today was on miracles and expecting miracles, which, by the way, I think is like amazing. What I was just like giddy laughing. So it's going to be fun recording this because I'm just in that like slap happy mood today. So this is going to be kind of a fun ride this morning here. We're talking about my pit crew today and how I developed my pit crew, kind of how I kind of fell into it. It's kind of a funny story and why you should do it too, because it's kind of it's a neat idea, a neat concept that is supportive of you. If you listen to episode 5, if you didn't listen to it after this, but I talk about my why and why I started on this whole journey. And I reference my pit crew in here. And your pit crew is essentially the people in your world, your life that support you. You know, like NASCAR, that's where the idea came from. I don't know that really anybody in my world right now, except for my husband, really knows that I'm like a closet NASCAR fan. Meaning, before I had children, I would spend my Sundays watching NASCAR. But it's like the best sport because it's like 4 hours long and it starts at, I think, like noon it started at. So you have like this afternoon, and I would like take a nap midway through all the laps that they're doing. But I actually really love NASCAR. And way back, this was like my other life. I went to, in North Carolina, I think they have like a NASCAR like Hall of Fame or something like that. I went there. Tony Stewart was my favorite driver. I have a Tony Stewart car. It was, I think, Home Depot for a Christmas ornament. So these are things, this is like so like 16 plus years ago. But I still, if it was on, I would definitely sit down and maybe take a nap. I don't think that's in my life anymore, but I would definitely be interested in watching it. But that's where this idea of like my pit crew came from. Because if you think about NASCAR, they're going, and then they come in and all of a sudden this whole crew comes out, the car goes up, they like change their tires, like all the things that need, or if something goes wrong, they come out and get them and they come in, and it's this amazing thing to watch. And in life, we need that. We need that when things are going well, when we just need to touch base and have like our people and maybe something fun. And then we need that when we blow a tire or our engine is like smoking and we're like, shit, what do I do? Like, you have these people that you have intentionally brought into your world that are there to be like, hey, I may not know what to do, but I can like help you problem solve. Or maybe they know what to do, but you bring them into your world intentionally to be like your people. And if you don't do this intentionally, maybe it wouldn't feel so good going through life, because these, at least in my experience, these people have really enriched my life and have created, you know, like friendships and, you know, all sorts of ways that we can work and just vibe together. It's a really beautiful thing. So today I'm going to share with you why I created mine in the first place, and then how you can look at this to create your own pit crew and support team. So how I created mine was purely by accident. Like, my life started on fire and it just, people kind of fell in, but they also fell out. So it's this really interesting thing of, you know, who do you want, first of all, to be in that crew, like your inner circle? What's the vibe? And, you know, not everybody is meant for that position. They might have different, you know, energy, different skill, whatever, that they're not meant to be in that sort of inner circle and your pit crew, and that's totally okay. The other thing that I fell into having this, but what started it is I was open to having it. And in episode 8, I talked about the lessons and the habits that I learned in order to sort of have live how I am now. And one of them is asking for help. And if you can't ask for help, if you haven't nailed that one yet, you might need to work on that one first, because your pit crew essentially are people there to support you and that you can lean on. And this is like a two-way thing here. This isn't just you're just finding people to support you. Like, you need to show up for them also. But you have to be open to having those people and sort of letting those walls down and showing up as the truest version, the most vulnerable version, the realest version of who you are, which can be a really kind of tricky thing. But like I said, I was at rock bottom. There was no showing up any different, because I legitimately did not have the energy to show up any which way. That's okay. Life is messy. And I found these beautiful, amazing humans that believed in me. They believed in my mission. They believed in my family, and they like showed up. And that was the most comforting feeling. It was also uncomfortable. So it was comforting that I had these people there. It was also uncomfortable because I'm also an Enneagram 8. So I'm the person, if you're familiar with Enneagram 8 is like, I will charge the way. I will save you. I will support you. If there is a cause and you need somebody behind it, I am your freaking girl. I am that person, like, strong, doesn't ask for help. So when I say, if you can't ask for help, if you're not open to that yet, work on that. I truly mean that, because that was something that I really had to show up in a really vulnerable and open space, because asking for help was not something that I was comfortable with. It made me very, very uncomfortable. However, by making myself available to asking for help for the people that felt safest to me, it made it a lot easier. And now, like, it's just what I do. It doesn't bother me anymore. So listen to that one if that would be helpful. That was in episode 8. So being open to this, asking for help, acknowledging that you want people in your world what energy, what sort of experiences do you want to create in the life that you have? Or what life are you wanting to create? And where can you find the people that can be supportive of you getting there? Sometimes you have to do this pruning and contracting, because maybe, if you look around at what you currently do, who you currently surround yourself with, maybe they are not the people that are going to get you there. And I don't mean like get as in like, using people, or, not in a negative way. But like, you've heard the quote, probably, you are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are not in alignment with the kind of person that you want to be, if those like core values, or if there's things that don't quite mesh, there's going to be some friction there. And let me just say, this is not to be meant in like an all or nothing, black and white. I don't think that way. But knowing if you have certain goals, let's say you want to be a person who goes out hiking and you want to take these adventure trips and things like that. If you're hanging out with people, who are sitting around playing video games and watching TV and aren't getting off the couch, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be going out and buying plane tickets to go find hikes or going on retreats or whatever it is. So like thinking, are these the people who I want to be around? And that might require some, pruning and contracting, or maybe I talk about this idea of crowding out. So not necessarily like, okay, you're not going to be in my life anymore, but who do you want in your life? What experiences? and add more of that in. So I'm not saying like cut off people or just cut people out completely, but adding in this idea of crowding in the things and people and experiences that you want to be having. And those people will just naturally, if they're excited about the things that you're doing, they're going to naturally want to support you and you them. So there's this expanding, that opening up, being open to it, this expansion that happens when you're cultivating this pit crew and your support system. And the other thing is, this is something that is evolving. So not many of the people that I, was very, very close with in my original pit crew, not many of them are still there, and that is okay. Oftentimes, when we go through transitions where, you're kind of crowding in the life experiences, the people that you want in, and the people that maybe don't align with you, who you are now, or just life happens, you shift, that we should be evolving. But when you see that as a negative, that can really keep you stuck. That's something that I've been experiencing a lot lately, is this sort of, and I wasn't ready for it, this sort of evolving of my crew, this evolving of friendships where they're in different spaces now. Not necessarily did anything, big or major or negative or anything like that happen. It's that you're just moving in different directions. And maybe situationally, the things that brought you together are no longer there. And maintaining them gets to be tricky. So just knowing that friendships and your support system is supposed to evolve can kind of take that angsty energy away from it, that this is just a natural, evolution of who you are as a person. Somebody told me, part of my pit crew in my mastermind goal setting group, she said that your friendships evolve like every 7 to 10 years. And there's sort of this natural turnover. And if you think of it, like, you're a totally different person when you're in your 20s to your 30s to your 40s to 50s to 60s. Your life experiences and the things that you want out of life are so different. And the people you're going to want to surround yourself with, they're going to be so different. And so you're going to have this sort of natural ebb and flow of community that you have around you. And looking at that as like it's okay, this is just a natural part of being, rather than, why is this happening? And like having like a full on freak out. Like, don't panic. It'll be okay. But being clear on who and what experiences you want in your life. So like my current pit crew is kind of large. I have a lot of things, a lot of habits, a lot of experiences, people that I currently want to have in my life. Obviously, my family is part of the kind of close knit. Like, my husband is, I would say, the main number one person in my world. And then to expand that out, I have like, what do I want out of life? I want to move at a quick pace. If you heard me ever talk, again, Enneagram 8, I want to like go. And that is not healthy all the time to be at that pace. So knowing this, I have people in my world that help to like slow my roll. I have my acupuncturist to help with my energy and kind of flow with my energy. She gives me a lot of supplements that are minerals. So it's not like supplements, but they're like minerals but she like keeps me so together in life. I also started doing Reiki about 9-10 months ago. And I absolutely love that. They're sort of like this, like, it's not like counseling or anything, but they're sort of like just purging that happens with it. And then the energy, I don't understand it. I just know that I feel good when I do it. And I understand these things. Obviously, I'm paying for this shit. So it's not to say, like, when I say your pit crew, it's not necessarily free, but you can also like podcast. Your pit crew does not have to be a person or someone that you actually even know. When I first started in this, I listened to a lot of books. And actually, I think at that time, I think I wasn't listening. I think I was actually reading. That was before I had an abundance of children and I could sit down and read. I don't have that luxury anymore. So I listened to books. But that was like part of my support, was immersing myself in learning, immersing myself in the idea of thinking and being different. So this doesn't have to be, people necessarily that you are with every day or every month. It could be a group community that you don't even know. So part of my pit crew, and actually this part has been with me a really, really, really long time. I have this ladies. We met on a group called Peer Trainer, and it's sort of like a MyFitnessPal, but back in, let's see, it would be 2006, I think, 2007. I think there's 5 or 6 of us on there that we met. It was like these boards where you would, like, community boards where you would talk on, and it was all about like fitness, nutrition, exercise, things like that. But we stayed connected, and now we have a group on Facebook, just the tiny group of us that stayed together. But these are women that I would consider very, very dear friends and people to me, and I've not even met them. I've met a couple of them. I have stayed connected to them, and they are like, if I have anything where I'm like, I don't know who to even share this with, I know that they are a safe place and a safe space. And they're all different. And that's the neat thing too, is that we're across the United States. We all have different lifestyles, different beliefs, all different things, but we have this common, understanding of support for each other. And again, like I said, like, I've never even met half of them, but I'm so connected to them. So you can cultivate and create your support system. It doesn't have to be people who are in close proximity to you. Now, I will say, if you can do that, that is important also, is to also have people that you can be in community with, because having that connection is a very important part of just human happiness, is having that connectedness, and being able to be in community with people is really important also. So finding ways to find those people. It could be in a faith group that you're in. It could be in, maybe you like to take music classes or dance classes or gym classes, or any place that people commune together. You might have to get some bravery underneath you if you're, you kind of, you feel people, you're like, oh, like that person, like, for instance, I'll give you one. I hope this lady doesn't listen to this, because she'll probably think I'm a little bit wackadoodle. But we're at my daughter, she's in 4K. They had a picnic at the end of the year at this park. And I saw this woman. I don't think I've ever seen her. Her kid's in my kid's class, but I'm not the drop-off pickup parent. So I don't like see all the parents there. But I saw her and I'm just like, I think I like you. You seem like cool. And I don't know this woman, but there was just something like, you just see people and it's like you can feel their energy. You can tell if you would vibe with them. And I'm sure sometimes you're off, but then later I asked my daughter's teacher, I was like, is she cool? Like, could we be friends? And she's like, oh yeah, you could. So I haven't gone the next step yet. And actually, like, speaking to this lady, I've just, been weird and I'm talking about it here. But like that kind of thing where you feel that like there's something there, just do it. I've done it before. It's just, I don't really have space to go, track down this lady right now. But I know sometime maybe there's just like where you have this like energy connection to people that you're like, yeah, you could be my person. If you are needing to cultivate this right now, go seek them out. Like, just be weird. It's okay. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Like, we can handle the no, not right now. That's okay. But put yourself out there a little bit if this is something that you're like actively trying to create. And I say that because I'm a painful introvert. If you're an extrovert, you probably don't have this problem. You probably would have already went up and talked to her and like already had coffee like 3 different times. But that is not that is not me. I could not be farther from that. But one of the tools that I use in my coaching is the Wheel of Life. And you can Google this, like there's a ton of them out there. Or if you read this or you're listening to this and you want it, I can send it to you. Just send me a DM and I'll send you the PDF for it. I've kind of adapted it to the people that I work with. But essentially, it's 12 different areas of your life, from spirituality to fitness to relationships, nutrition, things like that. And that's a tool that I use to ask people, like, where are you currently and where do you want to go? So if, let's say, you were, with nutrition or fitness, like lower, and that's something that you actively want to cultivate, you actively want to be working on that, thinking about like, who are the people maybe already in your world that maybe it's somebody at work, and then reaching out to them, reaching out, creating that connection, creating that tether to other people, and just saying like, hey, this is something that I am actively wanting to work on. What support can you have, or what insight do you have for me? But using a tool like that can be helpful because it really identifies like, what do you want? Who are the people that you want to be in your life? I said I have like my mastermind group. We've met every month for the last 4.5 years. They are a huge part of my pit crew. Like, I know I can count on them. Yes, we do mostly business stuff, but we also have some personal stuff in there. And I feel very supported by them. And I know, we wouldn't be 4.5 years into this. So I know that they feel very supported by me. I also have 2 coaches that I'm currently working with. I have one for my husband and I. She is, I adore her. She is so helpful for us in working through, some marriage stuff. Marriage is, well, you know what marriage is if you're married and you need support. You need that. I think we actually have a really great marriage, but it's freaking hard. We're navigating like being blended. We're navigating like blending finances and kids and school and education and all the things. Somebody to help support us through some of these really difficult conversations and, kind of unpacking the shit that we both are bringing to our marriage. And that's totally like, okay, that is good. So when you are looking for this pit crew, when you're looking for your support system, like, where do you have the spaces that you need help, that you want support? It's like the glue that sticks you together, and it's beautiful, and it makes your life more enriched. It makes your life more full. And so looking at it, and I say that because a lot of times when I talk to people about, going to therapy or getting a coach, they see that as like a fault. Like, I should be able to do this on my own. Fuck that. No, you shouldn't. First of all, if you could do it on your own, you already would have done it. But as like human beings, we are not meant to do things alone. We are meant to do things in community. We are meant to be supported. We are meant to support other people. So finding and creating the glue that holds all our broken shit together is what we need to be doing. Those are the things that are going to enrich your life. The parts where you need that support, there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. That is a sign of strength and courage. And you are going to have the most remarkable, beautiful experiences when you do this. because you're going to be collecting people and their stories and their experiences, and it is going to enrich you. You are going to be thrust forward in life to wherever it is that you are wanting to go. Because if you think about NASCAR, you come in and they put you back together. They top off your, fluids and change your tires, rotate your tires, and then you go out there and you're like badder and more badass than ever, like faster, you're running better. And that's not a negative thing. It's a part of it. That is like, there's a pit crew for a reason, because it is a part of the race. And in life, having your pit crew, having your support system is a part of it. And if you are going through life without these people in place, find them, create them, look in your community, look in the things that excite you. There are groups everywhere. Post something on social media, make yourself vulnerable to creating these. Go help somebody else. That was something that I did. Like, I went and volunteered. I did those things to create those connections, because that just fills your shit up too. Like, you feel so good when you do stuff like that, and you will find other people that value those same things. So take what you value, take the things that excite you, take the things that you want to be improving or working on, and go do those things. Go be around the people who also are doing those things, and evolve. And don't be worried. Just crowd the people in, and naturally it will feel okay. We're not meant to keep all the people forever, and they're not meant to keep you forever. It doesn't work that way, and that is okay. Because to have new people, to have the energy, that's why I said, like, when I saw the really cool lady at the park, like, right now I don't have the energy to give to a new relationship if she would have me in the relationship. But like, it's not something that I actually have space for right now. But if you have that space, if you have that open vessel, that space there, go find it and fill it up. Like, find your people, find your pit crew, find the areas in life where you can be most supported, and just create the most beautiful pit crew, because you will be so much better to your pit crew, the people who you're in theirs, and you will show up in such a wonderful way to the world, because you will be a very full person and you will be well cared for. So I hope this was helpful for you today. If you would like the Wheel of Life that I talked about, send me a message and I would be more than happy to get you that PDF. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to listen to the other episodes, episode 8 is where I talk about the lessons that I learned about asking for help. And then episode 5, where I talk about my pit crew. All right. Bye.
Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.